What if I told you that the richest person in modern history didn't build skyscrapers, invent technology, or conquer nations, but controlled the fuel that powered the entire industrial world? Adjusted for inflation, John D. Rockefeller was worth more than any billionaire alive today, and he got there by reshaping capitalism itself. Let's start at the beginning. John Davison Rockefeller was born in 1839 in New York State, raised in modest conditions by a deeply religious mother and a father who was often absent. From a young age, Rockefeller showed an obsession with numbers, discipline, and control. He kept detailed accounting books as a teenager and believed that order, moral and financial, was the key to success. That mindset defined everything he did. In the 1850s, America was transforming. Railroads expanded, cities grew, and one industry began to dominate: oil. Initially, oil wasn't about gasoline, it was about kerosene, cheap, efficient lighting for homes and factories. Rockefeller entered the oil business in Cleveland in the early 1860s, not as a wild speculator, but as a refiner. While others chased oil in the ground, he focused on processing it more efficiently than anyone else. Efficiency was his weapon. In 1870, Rockefeller founded Standard Oil. What followed was honestly one of the most aggressive business expansions in history. Standard Oil undercut competitors, negotiated secret railroad rebates, and bought out rivals who just couldn't survive price wars. By the 1880s, Standard Oil controlled roughly 90% of America's oil refining capacity. This wasn't just business dominance, it was economic power on a national scale. So how did he do it? Rockefeller believed competition was wasteful. He preferred consolidation, bringing every part of the oil process under one system. Refineries, transportation, storage, and sales were all integrated. Costs dropped, profits soared, rivals vanished. But his methods triggered outrage. Small businesses collapsed, prices fluctuated wildly. Journalists and politicians accused Standard Oil of operating as a monopoly that strangled the free market. One of the most influential critics, journalist Ida Tarbell, published a devastating exposé revealing the inner workings of Rockefeller's empire. Public opinion turned. In 1911, the United States Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil violated antitrust laws and ordered it broken up into dozens of smaller companies. Many of today's energy giants, like Exxon and Chevron, trace their roots directly back to this breakup. Rockefeller lost control. But he didn't lose his wealth. In fact, the value of his holdings increased. Now here's the twist. After stepping away from business, Rockefeller transformed his public image. He became one of history's most significant philanthropists. He funded universities, medical research, and public health initiatives on an unprecedented scale. Some key examples include the founding of the University of Chicago major funding for medical science, like research that helped combat hookworm and yellow fever, and the creation of the Rockefeller Foundation, which honestly reshaped global philanthropy. By the time he died in 1937 at age 97, Rockefeller had given away hundreds of millions of dollars, equivalent to billions today. So, was he a villain or a visionary? That debate still matters. Rockefeller helped create modern corporate capitalism. His methods influenced how large companies operate, scale, and integrate supply chains. At the same time, his dominance forced governments to define limits on corporate power. Antitrust law in the United States exists largely because of Rockefeller. His story raises uncomfortable questions that remain relevant. How much power is too much? Do efficiency and lower prices really justify ruthless tactics? And can philanthropy actually balance the harm caused by monopolies? Modern tech giants face the same scrutiny today that Standard Oil faced a century ago. Rockefeller didn't just build a fortune, He built a system, and well, he forced society to respond to it. He proved that wealth could reshape markets, laws, and even, morality itself. And whether he's admired or condemned, his influence still runs through the global economy. If you want to understand how modern capitalism was forged, you have to understand John D. Rockefeller. If you found this deep dive valuable, like the video, subscribe for more stories about the figures who shaped the modern world. And hey, don't forget to watch our next video on the rise of America's industrial titans.